So within this video, we're going to be going over the top 7 stocks to buy now. This is going to give you an actionable swing trading plan on when to buy, where to set your stop loss, and where to set your price target. I'm going to be walking you through some of the basics of this strategy. For the most part, we're going to be using the same strategy on almost every single one of these 7 stocks. And 6 out of 7 of these stocks have liquid option chains, meaning if you trade and swing trade the options, you could take advantage of very explosive and lucrative trading returns. So guys, let's get right into the analysis. Make sure you smash this like button if you appreciate the content. Let's get right into it. So our first stock is going to be on ticker symbol IRNT. If you are a subscriber to this channel, you are well aware on my recent video with IRNT, I had stated, on September 16th, this is down in after hours. And when you see these plays run significantly and they're down in after hours, they're going to be on track to have their first big red day. And you do not want to be buying these stocks on their first big red days because they tend to close weak at the lows when they have their first red days, right? So it's typically an opportunity to short the first red day or to buy some puts. Now, in terms of IRNT stock, this is what we're going to be looking at. We now have a new gap that is waiting to fill at $30.26, which is where our current price target is going to be. That is going to be our goal to be selling and locking in profits. Now, in terms of entry, what we're looking for early into the week, we're most likely going to see this on Monday. We are looking for $23.32, these key gap levels, right? So we're looking for this key gap level waiting to fill at $23.32. Like I had stated in my previous video, I clearly stated avoid dip buying right here. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to wait for this lowest gap waiting to fill below, and then look for bullish confirmations. Look for it to validate as a support level. Once you see that this stock is, a confirmed support level, you're going to want to be buying into this $23.32 level, right? So in terms of swing trading, you're going to want to wait for a bullish one-day confirmation into power hour. So look for a bullish candlestick into power hour, and you want that candle to be above that key $23.30 level we talked about. So in terms of IRNT stock, you can see it tends to bottom out fairly quickly when it tops out and when it hits its new all-time high. So if you study this trend, got to a high of 1841, and then it bottomed out at 1084, and then it exploded. And then you can see right here, got to a high of $30, and then it bottomed out at 1675. And you could see in terms of now, got to a high of 47.5 if you count pre-market, $60, which is insane. And right now it is trading in the low 28s. So the point being is, it tends to bottom out very, very quickly and then exploding for new all-time highs. And it's already down, in terms of from 47.5 to 28, this is already down over 40%. So in terms of this trade, it typically bottoms out at around 40-50%. We're going to be looking to buy this, and this is going to be a phenomenal trading opportunity at $23.32 using the gap close reversal to fill the gap above strategy. That is right. We are looking for stocks when they close their gaps, and once they close their gaps, we look for trend reversal confirmations, bullish pins, bullish trend reversal candlesticks, whatever it is that you like to use to confirm that a stock is going to, have its reversal, that a stock is a valid support level, right? Once we see that confirmation at around this price zone, that is what I'm going to be buying and holding and playing for this gap that's waiting to fill now at $30.26. So set your price alerts. If you want trades to come to you, if you want to trade these stocks at the best prices, you have to set your price alerts. That is the secret. Once that price alert triggers, you're putting yourself in an opportunity where you're able to watch that stock at the best price you can buy it at possible, with huge upside potential. And a lot of the times, the stock will lose a lot of its volume when it's at its key level, right? And you're not going to be able to see it when the volume is lacking unless you have that price alert set. So this is going to put you in a situation where you're able to get in before the massive spike, where you're able to get in before the masses. Make sure you're setting your price alerts. You're going to put yourself in a position where you are prepared to trade the best setups at the best prices. So guys, that is going to be on ticker symbol IRNT, and that is going to be the top play. Wait for the gap to fill. Once you see bullish confirmations, then you're going to want to buy into that plan for the gap to fill above. Our next stock is going to be on ticker symbol OPAD. So in terms of OPAD, same exact strategy on IRNT. Me personally, though, I like IRNT stock more, but this is another great potential play. So in terms of this one, you could see, similar pattern to IRNT. it tends to bottom out very quickly from its all-time high, then push for new all-time high. So in terms of this one, it went from 16 all the way down to, $8.60. And you could see right here, there is a gap to fill. As soon as it closed this gap, look at this. This is the bullish confirmation we're talking about. Once these stocks close their gaps, look for the bullish candlestick, buy into that, and watch them explode, guys. This is what we're looking for. So we're looking to basically do what the stock did, right around here at a new price. And that new price is going to be for that gap that's waiting to fill right here at $12.58. Once you see this trading in the 1250s, set your price alerts, and then once you see that bullish confirmation, buy into it. And then we're going to start to play for this gap to fill above. You got a gap to fill above right here towards 1997. Very similar play in terms of that recent play that I took my loss on ATER stock. So guys, that is ticker symbol OPAD. Same exact strategy as IRNT, guys. These plays have huge upside potential with very little downside potential. Take advantage of these gap close reversals. Like if you were to use the strategy right here, would have worked phenomenal. And you watch, history tends to repeat itself. If you see that a stock is consistently working with this pattern, keep using the pattern on it over and over again. Like look at on IRNT stock. So I showed you how it worked with OPAD. Now look at IRNT. You can see IRNT has a history of having these gap close reversals. This is all we're focused on. We're laser focused on these plays. There's a couple phenomenal opportunities with these every single week. Look at IRNT stock. You can see right here it has this massive gap up. Once it closes this gap right here, it has a reversal and then it explodes. You could see it does it again right here. Has a gap up, closes the gap, then it explodes, right? So be prepared to trade these at the best prices, guys. We're going to see that oversold opportunity to buy into these great plays. So IRNT is sitting at number 1. OPAD is sitting at number 2, guys. Take advantage of the option chain as well. Me personally, I would go with I would give it like 2 weeks. I would look at an option with like 2 weeks on these, and I would focus on staying in the money. So in terms of our next play is going to be on LVS, right? So same exact strategy as the two stocks we just went over, except this one is going to be more of a mid-cap price stock. So this is one you'd want to trade options on as well. So in terms of this one, let's take a look at the overall long-term chart. You could see it's at a key support level with huge upside potential, right? You got this key support level right around here towards, this $37-ish level, right? And it has huge upside potential. And this stock has a history of filling all of its gaps. You could see right here, it has a strong history of closing the gaps, right? So what you're going to want to look for on this one is, this one has already had confirmation to buy. The volume is coming in and it's looking really strong. I think we're going to see a run, it's going to take some time, but I think we'll be able to see a run to $42.89 playing for this gap, waiting to fill above right here. So in terms of the play, it is at a key valid support level with huge upside potential. And there's a gap that has recently filled at 37.55. You could see right here. So it has now closed that gap and turned it into a valid support level. This is going to be a great buy. If you see this green, and in terms of another confirmation, if you see this 38.68 turn into a nice support level, that's going to be a great confirmation to buy, to play for this gap to fill above right here at 42.80, right? So that's going to be our next play. So in terms of the next stock, let's go over Zillow. Guys, Zillow is doing well. It's at 96.6, guys. And this one is going to be a phenomenal midterm play. With this one, I would give it like a month and I would stay in the money. You can go a month or a month and a half. This one is going to be more of a hold. LVS is more of a short-term one. IRNT is more of a short-term one, and OPAD is more of a short-term one. Zillow, this is more of a midterm one. This is more of a passive one. So in terms of Zillow, we have this gap to fill right here. We went over this in our top 3 stocks video recently. Gap to fill towards 91.69. It has filled that gap, had its reversal, back at that key gap fill level, looking strong, and the volume is coming in, guys, and it has huge upside potential. As you could see, if you study, Zillow's chart, it's at that key support level right here with huge upside potential, and you have multiple gaps to fill above there. So this should be on track to really push into the low 100s. So our next stock is going to be on ticker symbol NURO. This one doesn't have much volume, but the chart looks absolutely phenomenal. So on ticker symbol NURO, this is more of a passive play where I would start sizing in. We have this gap right here at 997, and you could see, look at how it recently reacted when it filled this gap. It filled this gap right here and it exploded, had a massive gap up over 100% from that gap fill level, and it bottomed exactly at it. I think we're seeing a similar move in terms of NURO. The gap is waiting to fill at 997. Has it filled the gap yet? Not quite. It hit 1016, it almost filled it, but still showing some bullish confirmations. So I think now would be a good time to take a starting small position. And then if this declines into 997, I would add into that pullback and continue to hold. In terms of price target, there's a gap that's waiting to fill at 1388. So that's where I would set my price target on this one. This is going to be a passive swing trade hold that is going to take some time, but soon enough, NURO stock is going to be on track to explode. And this has a lot more upside potential than downside potential. And it has a history of having those gap close reversals to fill the gaps above. So our next stock is going to be on ticker symbol BYND. This is by far one of my favorite, more passive income plays. This one I do have options on. So in terms of, my current positions, I'm in on BYND and I'm in on NURO. And then, I'm planning to get in on a couple other ones. I'm really focused, like I said, on the IRNT and the OPAD. Those are going to be, the really lucrative plays for the short term. And then, Zillow looks phenomenal as well for like a midterm passive. But BYND, I had a video on this one recently. It's doing very well. This looks like it is going to explode. So in terms of BYND, you had this gap to fill right here, and you could see once it closed that gap, it bottomed out, had a reversal, and it exploded. It's at a key support level with huge upside potential, and you had this gap recently formed right here at that key support level with huge upside potential at $100 and $106.59. You can see right here, you got this bullish trend reversal confirmation, the most bullish candlestick you're really going to get with strong volume coming in. Once the stock closed the gap, look at how the buyers reacted, forming that bullish one-day candle, exactly the confirmation you want to buy into in terms of a swing trade. And you can see the stock is starting to explode, and it's starting to turn that gap fill level right here into now support at 110.77. And if you just look at this chart, this, it looks like it is bottomed out. The volume is here. It looks like we're going to be heading to fill this gap at $119.74. So we're looking at another 8 points of upside potential for the short term being. In terms of the midterm, if it could turn that level into a support level, we're looking at, 135. So that is ticker symbol BYND. Our last stock is going to be on QDEL. This one is going to be different. So in terms of all the plays I just shared with you, those 6 stocks were gap close reversals to fill the gap aboves. My favorite trading strategy this year. In terms of QDEL, this one is slightly different. It's more of a breakout play. It has a strong history of nearly filling all of its gaps. I think this has some more upside potential. What I would look for is, I would look for, previous resistance towards 154.88 to turn into support. If you see a break above that, I would definitely look to get in on some call options. This has some explosive potential. In terms of price targets for the short term, I would be focusing on 163 to 168, in between that range. The chart looks phenomenal. It recently closed this gap, turned it into a key support level, closed this gap right here, turned it into a key support level. Very strong move, and the volume is really stepping in, and you got some nice green bullish candlesticks coming in. So guys, those are the top plays. Those were the top 7 plays. So add those to your watch list: Z, QDEL, OPAD, Neuro, LVS, IRNT, and BYND. BYND and Zillow are the exact same setup. So these are going to be more of a passive play where you kind of just buy and hold them out for a little bit. I would go with some midterm in the money call options. QDEL is more of a short-term play, could be midterm as well. And then OPAD is a short-term play. Neuro is a passive play. LVS is a short-term play. IRNT is a short-term play. So guys, wait for the key levels in terms of the ones that haven't reached it yet. Like on IRNT and OPAD, wait for the key levels. You know us, we are not buying these at their highs, holding the bag for 50%. When everyone's selling into that fear, that's where we're going to be buying in towards that gap close reversal to fill the gap above level. And you got to stay on top of these plays, guys. It was literally the exact bottom of OPAD stock. This strategy literally gets you in at the best prices with huge upside potential. So guys, I'm telling you, in terms of this strategy, it is very rare to find a short-term gap close reversal on a stock that explodes and then, pushes back 50% to fill that gap and then explodes again. Very rare pattern where it's consistently doing that for new all-time highs. And OPAD and IRNT currently have those patterns. So those are going to be the top two with explosive options. So yeah, be on the lookout for those guys, and I will see you in the next video.